Hello, friend, and welcome to the Renaissance English History Podcast, a part of the Agora Podcast Network and the original Tudor podcast, telling stories of Tudor England since 2009. I am your host, Heather Tesco, and I am a storyteller who makes history accessible because I believe it's a pathway to understanding who we are, our place in the universe, and being more deeply in touch with our own humanity. So, my friends, this is episode I've lost track. I realize that when I do the cover art and I put the episode number in, it never matches up with what episode it actually is because somehow along the line I've gotten myself mixed up in Canva where I make the episode art. And when I'm uploading it, I realize it's like different. And so there's a mismatch. So I don't know. We're like 239, 240, somewhere in there. And we are talking today about William Cecil. I know some people pronounce it Cecil, and a couple of, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, somebody emailed me. They were actually English and they corrected me on my pronunciation and they said, we say Cecil here. And I said, well, I don't know because I've heard a lot of people say Cecil as well. So let's do Cecil, Cecil, potato, potato. I'm going to say Cecil. If you say Cecil, that's fine too. And now I'm saying it so much, it sounds really weird. Do you ever do that where you say a word so many times it starts to sound really, really weird in your head? I've just done that. So if it sounds weird to you, I apologize, but here we are. The big announcement for this week is that TudorCon online tickets are now available. You can go to englandcast.com/TudorCon online to learn all about the online ticket and purchase it. Honestly, you guys, I think it's like one of the best values out there. It's $49 for the weekend. You get to experience TudorCon from the comfort of your own home. TudorCon, of course, is sold out for the in-person tickets. Everything will be streamed, and it's not just like another Zoom meeting. We actually have a host. Like I said, I think last week, it's my husband who's hosting it. So he'll be relaying all your questions to the speakers. If there's questions from the streaming folks, he'll be getting those. And so you can, interact with the speakers. There's a whole community aspect. We're going to have online games and entertainment just for the Zoomers. There's extra speaker talks, people who are recording some extra talks who aren't going to be at the live event. So it's really like this whole amazing weekend. There's going to be 15, 20 speakers. I keep confirming more who are going to be doing recordings and prizes, games. Like I said, this whole community. It's amazing. It's going to be so much fun. And you also get a digital version of the swag bag because the people who come in person get a little welcome bag. You will get a welcome bag as well with little digital goodies. So that will also be fun. So englandcast.com/TudorCon online to reserve your space. I am so very, very excited. Oh, and I should tell you the date. It's September 20th to 22nd. Everything that happens live will be recorded. So if you miss something, that's no problem. You can go back and watch whenever. You get lifetime access to all of the recordings. So yeah, I hope we see you online on September 20th. All right, let's get into it and talk about William Cecil/Cecil. I honestly can't believe it's been this long doing this podcast and I haven't done an episode on him. That is really almost criminal negligence on my part, and I apologize for that. So let us get into it. There was a sentiment at court that all of the Queen's business passes through Cecil's hands. This was an idea echoed by many contemporaries that highlighted the pivotal role that William Cecil played in the court of Elizabeth I. So today we are going to delve into the life and legacy of William Cecil, the master strategist behind the Elizabethan era's success. So William Cecil was later known as Lord Burghley. He was the chief advisor to Elizabeth I for over 4 decades. His influence was profound and far-reaching. He shaped policies that stabilized the English economy, navigated religious tensions, and fortified the nation against foreign threats. His meticulous approach to governance and his unwavering loyalty to the Queen made him an indispensable figure in her reign. Today, we will explore Cecil's early life and rise to power, and we'll look at how his education and early political career laid the groundwork for his future achievements. We will also delve into his key policies and the establishment of his spy network, which played a crucial role in protecting the realm from internal and external threats. We'll also discuss his legacy and look at how his contributions have left a lasting imprint on English history. William Cecil was born on September 13, 1520, in Bourne in Lincolnshire, in a well-off and politically connected family. His father was Richard Cecil, served as a courtier to Henry VIII, providing William a gateway into the intricacies of Tudor politics from an early age. The Cecil family's status and connections laid a robust foundation for William's future endeavors in the political arena. Cecil's education was marked by distinction and intellectual rigor. He attended St. John's College, Cambridge. He excelled in classical studies, particularly Greek and Latin. His aptitude for languages and his scholarly demeanor caught the attention of his peers and mentors. During his time at Cambridge, his intellectual prowess was further honed through the influence of the Renaissance humanist movement, which was coming to England then and emphasized the study of classical texts and the value of critical thinking. After completing his education, Cecil entered the legal profession. He trained at Gray's Inn, one of the 4 Inns of Court in London. His legal training equipped him with skills and knowledge essential for navigating the complex legal and political landscapes of Tudor England. His career in law soon transitioned into public service, reflecting his ambition and the family's political connections. Cecil's early political career began in earnest when he was elected as a member of Parliament for Stamford in 1543. His tenure in Parliament was marked by his interest in administrative and legal reforms, and his ability to manage and understand the intricacies of governance caught the attention of key figures in the Tudor court, paving the way for his service under Edward VI. During Edward's reign, Cecil served as the Secretary of State, a role that allowed him to influence significant policy decisions. His time in this position was marked by a focus on religious and administrative reform, aligning with the Protestant policies of the young king. However, his fortunes then fluctuated with the political tides of the period, especially during the transition of power following Edward's death. Cecil's personal life also played a crucial role in his career. In 1541, he married Mary Check. She was the sister of his close friend and mentor Sir John Check, a prominent scholar and the tutor of Elizabeth I and Edward, so a royal tutor. Not very much is known about Mary at all. Her father had died sometime between 1541, and she apparently was living in the house of her mother, Agnes, who owned a small business. She was a vintner, and they lived near St. John's College. Mary died, unfortunately, in 1543 and left Cecil widowed with a young son, Thomas. In 1546, he married Mildred Cook, the daughter of Sir Anthony Cook, another influential humanist and educator. Mildred was well educated and shared Cecil's intellectual pursuits. Together, they formed a formidable partnership, Mildred playing a supportive role in his career and their household becoming a center of intellectual activity. So William Cecil's early life and background were characterized by his blend of education, strategic marriages, and early political involvement, all of which set the stage for his rise to prominence in the court of Elizabeth. His rise to power was marked by astute political maneuvering and a deep understanding of the shifting dynamics of Tudor England. His service under Mary I was a period of strategic caution. Although Cecil had served under her Protestant predecessor, Edward VI, he skillfully navigated the dangerous waters of Mary's Catholic reign. Recognizing the risks associated with his Protestant leanings, he withdrew from public life to avoid persecution. This period of relative obscurity allowed him to preserve his influence and bide his time until the political climate became more favorable. Interestingly, he still had some government duties during this time. He was in the House of Commons, and randomly, he was part of a couple of government-sponsored trips abroad, one of which was escorting Cardinal Reginald Pole home after 25 years of exile. Of course, he was welcomed into Mary's court. They had very different religious perspectives, of course, but Cecil and Pole apparently got on with each other. He also spent this time building his relationship with Elizabeth, and he was with her at Hatfield when she heard that her sister had died. Elizabeth immediately made him her secretary, and he was sworn in to her new Privy Council. He was the first person to be sworn in to her new Privy Council. His early relationship with Elizabeth was built on mutual respect and trust, developed during her early years as a princess. He had discreetly supported Elizabeth, provided her with advice, and maintained a channel of communication that would prove invaluable once she became the queen. His loyalty and counsel during these uncertain times established a foundation of trust that would underpin their future working relationship. Cecil was appointed Secretary of State for Elizabeth, a role that positioned him at the heart of the new administration. His appointment was not just a reward for past loyalty, but also a strategic decision by Elizabeth to ensure that her government was staffed by capable and trusted advisors. His deep understanding of both domestic and foreign affairs made him an ideal candidate for this crucial position. As Secretary of State, his influence grew rapidly. He skillfully maneuvered to consolidate his power by building a network of loyal supporters and allies within the court and the government. His administrative acumen and his ability to navigate the complexities of court politics enabled him to outmaneuver rivals and maintain his position as Elizabeth's chief advisor. Cecil's consolidation of power was evident in his handling of key state matters. He was instrumental in shaping the Elizabethan Religious Settlement, which aimed to establish a moderate form of Protestantism as the state religion, while accommodating some aspects of Catholic tradition. This policy helped stabilize the religious tensions that had plagued England for decades. His involvement in economic and foreign policy also further solidified his authority. He worked tirelessly to stabilize England's finances. He implemented measures to curb inflation, and he managed the national debt. In foreign affairs, his diplomatic strategies were pivotal in navigating the complex relationships with major European powers, including Spain and France. Cecil's ability to consolidate power and influence was not just a product of his official titles, but also a testament to his strategic thinking and his deep understanding of the political landscape. His early support and advisory role to Elizabeth I, coupled with his adept handling of state matters, ensured his position as one of the most powerful and influential figures in Elizabethan England. William Cecil's tenure as Elizabeth I's chief advisor was marked by strategic brilliance and unwavering dedication to the stability and prosperity of the realm. And that led to several key achievements and policies that significantly shaped the course of English history. One of his most significant contributions was his role in the Elizabethan Religious Settlement of 1559. This series of laws aimed to establish a moderate form of Protestantism as the state religion, while accommodating, like we said, some aspects of Catholic tradition. He played a pivotal role in crafting this delicate balance. He understood the importance of religious unity for national stability and worked tirelessly to devise policies that would placate both Protestants and Catholics. Cecil's pragmatic approach led to the creation of the Act of Supremacy, which reestablished the monarch as supreme head of the Church of England, and the Act of Uniformity, which set out the structure of the church service. These acts were complemented by the introduction of the Book of Common Prayer, which included elements acceptable to both religious factions. And of course, I should say acceptable. A lot of Catholics were very unhappy with it. A lot of Protestants were very unhappy with it, which, of course, like I've said before, is the mark of a good compromise. And the most important thing was that it helped to prevent religious strife that was plaguing the rest of Europe, and it ensured the loyalty of a broad spectrum of the population. Cecil had a profound impact on the English economy. He recognized the pressing need to stabilize the nation's finances, which had been in disarray due to prolonged periods of war and mismanagement. He implemented several measures to curb inflation and manage public finances more effectively. One of his key strategies was the reevaluation of the currency. The debasement of coinage had led to rampant inflation, undermining economic stability. Cecil oversaw the minting of new, high-quality coins, which helped to restore public confidence in the currency. We talked about that in an episode maybe 5 years ago or so on how Henry VIII had debased the coinage. I did a whole episode on the coinage and the currency and the debasement and the new metal and all of that. I'll find it and link it in the show notes. He also reformed taxation, ensuring a more efficient collection system that increased royal revenues without overburdening the populace. He also promoted trade and commerce. He supported the expansion of overseas trade routes and the establishment of trading companies like the Muscovy Company and the East India Company. These initiatives not only bolstered the economy, but also laid the groundwork for England's future as a global trading power. Cecil's diplomatic acumen was crucial in navigating the complex geopolitical landscape of the time. He played a key role in handling the Scottish Reformation, which saw Scotland transition from Catholicism to Protestantism. Recognizing the strategic importance of a Protestant ally to the north, Cecil supported the Scottish Protestant lords against the Catholic faction, securing a Protestant Scotland as a buffer against Catholic Europe. The threat from Spain was another major challenge, and Cecil's diplomatic strategies aimed to maintain a balance of power in Europe while avoiding direct conflict for as long as possible. He skillfully managed relations with Philip II, using marriage negotiations and alliances to keep the Spanish threat at bay. When conflict became inevitable, his earlier efforts to strengthen England's defenses were invaluable. He also had foresight in building the Royal Navy, and this was instrumental in setting the stage for England's later naval dominance. He recognized the strategic importance of a powerful navy for both defense and the protection of trade routes. Of course, Henry VII really started the Tudor Navy, building the dry docks at Deptford, and then Henry VIII expanded with his great warships. I've done episodes on the Tudor Navy, but Cecil was really the person for Elizabeth who took it to the next level. And under his guidance, significant investments were made in shipbuilding and the training of sailors. The Navy was modernized with more robust and maneuverable ships, such as the galleon, which proved decisive in the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Cecil's contribution to naval development ensured that England could defend its interests and project power abroad, laying the foundation for its future as a maritime empire. Cecil's contributions to domestic policy were equally significant. He worked to strengthen the rule of law and improve the administration of justice. Recognizing the importance of a stable and orderly society, Cecil implemented reforms to enhance the efficiency and fairness of the judicial system. He also focused on law enforcement, establishing a network of local officials and justices of the peace to maintain order and implement royal policy. So this guy was everywhere. His law enforcement measures helped reduce crime and ensure that the monarch's authority was upheld throughout the realm. So I don't know how this guy multitasked so much. He balanced all these competing interests and all of these reforms. Somehow he did it. He was Superman. Who knows? One of his most critical and enduring legacies was the establishment of the spy network that safeguarded Elizabeth and the realm from numerous threats. Understanding the precarious position of Elizabeth's Protestant government amid a sea of Catholic powers and domestic conspirators, he constructed an extensive intelligence apparatus to preempt and neutralize dangers. And that's what we talked about in last week's episode. So last week or the week before? The week before, I guess. Anyway, he worked with Francis Walsingham, is remembered as the spy master of Elizabethan England. Walsingham served with Cecil and was instrumental in developing and managing the network's operation. His dedication to the Protestant cause and his expertise in espionage made him a crucial ally in Cecil's efforts to protect the Queen. The network's effectiveness was demonstrated in thwarting several significant plots. The Ridolfi plot of 1571 was one conspiracy orchestrated by Roberto de Ridolfi, an Italian banker who aimed to overthrow Elizabeth and replace her with Mary, Queen of Scots, with the support of Spanish troops. Cecil's intelligence network intercepted crucial communication, enabling him to expose the plot and take decisive actions against the conspirators. Another example was the Babington plot of 1586, a more intricate scheme involving Anthony Babington and other Catholic sympathizers who wanted to assassinate Elizabeth and install Mary, Queen of Scots, on the English throne. The plot was meticulously monitored by Cecil and Walsingham, who employed double agents and intercepted coded letters. The deciphered communications proved irrefutable evidence of Mary's involvement, leading to her trial and execution. And of course, you can learn all about that in the episode, like I just referenced, the Elizabethan Spy Network. So we won't talk about it too much here, just that he used secret agents, informants, cryptography, all kinds of code breakers. He could intercept and interpret coded correspondence. It was an amazing defensive tool and also a proactive instrument of statecraft. William Cecil's policies and strategic vision had a profound and lasting impact on Elizabethan England and beyond. His pragmatic approach to governance and his meticulous planning laid the groundwork for a stable and prosperous England during a period of significant religious and political upheaval. His influence on governance was particularly notable in his development of a bureaucratic state. He established a systemic approach to administration, emphasizing the importance of efficient record-keeping, effective communication, and a merit-based system of appointments. This framework enabled the government to function more smoothly and respond more effectively to domestic and foreign challenges. His bureaucratic innovations helped shape the modern British civil service, leaving a legacy of organized and professional governance. His economic reforms stabilized the English economy, fostering growth and laying the foundations for England's later emergence as a global power. By addressing inflation, reforming taxation, and promoting trade, Cecil ensured the kingdom's financial health, supported its political and military ambitions. Cecil's diplomatic and military strategies also had enduring effects. His work in strengthening the Royal Navy laid the groundwork for England's naval dominance, which would become a defining feature of British power in the centuries to follow. His establishment of an effective spy network set precedents for modern intelligence operations, demonstrating the importance of information and counter-espionage in national security. The legacy of William Cecil continued through his son Robert, who succeeded him as Elizabeth I's chief advisor. Robert inherited his father's acumen and dedication, ensuring a seamless transition of power and the continuation of the Cecil influence in English politics. Under Robert's guidance, the principles and practices established by his father were further refined and entrenched, shaping the governance of England well into the Stuart period. So, William Cecil's contributions to Elizabethan England were foundational and far-reaching. His policies and innovations in government, economy, diplomacy, and intelligence left an indelible mark on the nation, securing his place as one of the most influential figures in English history. Cecil died in August of 1598. He was attending council meetings all the way up until July 15th of 1598. Elizabeth actually visited him at home when it was clear that he was dying, and she fed him with her own hands, showing just how close they were, even besides queen and subject. Cecil was actually very interested in architecture, and you can still go visit Burghley House in Lincolnshire, built by William Cecil himself. So if you are anywhere close, go visit Burghley House. Tell me what you thought of it. All right, my friends, we will leave it there for now. Again, remember you can go to englandcast.com/TutorCon online to get your TutorCon ticket. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I so very much appreciate you and the time you spent with me today. I will be back next week. Have a fantastic week. All right, bye-bye.
Blow, northern wind, send who may be sweating. Blow, northern wind, blow, blow, blow. Ich hatte Bord in Bauerbricht, dat soll is semlis on sich. Mens gevoel meiden of mich